The Giants continue to perform well offensively with 12 hits tonight and a 3-2 victory over the Brewers. Although they left 14 men stranded, Madison Bumgarner kept them in the game, pitching 8 innings, gave up 4 hits, and had 8 strikeouts. Although being on the road for baseball keeps Snow's hands on the laces of a ball rather than the keys of an instrument, he found an alternative way to keep playing. He invested in a cutting-edge portable keyboard. With ASU spring football in full swing, we begin tonight on the gridiron. Arizona State's 2017 recruiting class ranks 10th in the Pac-12, according to Scout.com. The Brewers are coming off a 24-3 victory against the Mariners, producing 24 runs off 24 hits. Prior to the game, the Brewers cut 12 players from Major League camp, bringing their roster from 58 players down to 46 players. Chamberlain may not be able to visit his reservation as often as he may like, but he has several tattoos that represent his Native American culture and remind him every day how important it is. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, reporter Colton Dodson found his love story on the track. ASU runners CJ Albertson and Chelsea Totten entered college with their own goals and aspirations. What they found instead was something they both considered to be a pleasant surprise. While successful in Arizona, ASU failed to bring in any recruits from Southern California, which had previously been a hotbed for Todd Graham. That said, Graham said if he could bring in 9 Arizona recruits every year, he would gladly do so. Skateboarding may have started off as a hobby, but helped him develop on the field as well. ASU men's wrestling finished off their campaign with their second consecutive 10-win season, going 4-1 in the Pac-12. It has been a roller coaster ASU gymnastics career for senior Becca Conrad. As Cronkite sports reporter Gabe Mercer tells us, the one constant has been change. From hitting the right key on a piano to gripping a baseball, Brewers pitcher Forrest Snow has a passion for using his hands, not only for striking people out, but for playing music as well.
I'll sit down every day at least and mess around with some sounds and try to come up with some melodies.
It started when Snow was 6 or 7 years old and his mom made him take piano lessons. He started playing classical music, but after 7 years of Chopin and Beethoven, he moved to something a little more upbeat.
I wanted a little bit of a change, so I switched teachers and ended up going to a more blues and jazz oriented class and fell in love with that.
The Seattle native took lessons for 2 days every week until baseball became his #1 priority in high school. At the University of Washington, Snow spent more time standing on the mound than sitting in front of a piano, until his parents reminded him of his forgotten pastime.
I wasn't really playing at all, and then Mom and Dad got me, for my birthday, got a nice Korg 88 key. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of equipment, and so I kind of picked it back up.
Although being on the road for baseball keeps Snow's hands on the laces of a ball rather than the keys of an instrument, he found an alternative way to keep playing. He invested in a cutting-edge portable keyboard.
Half keyboard, half synthesizer. Start in the middle and you go down and it gets a lot quieter. You go up and it changes, some sort of like vibrato. How hard you press it, how hard you take your finger off, it all makes different sounds.
Having the keyboard has not only been a fun hobby for the right-hander and some of his teammates, but has also helped Snow escape from his day job.
There's a lot of pressures going on here, especially for me, new organization, a lot of new people around, new coaches. So I go back home at the end of the day, I kind of unwind, and that's one of the ways I do it.
This 28-year-old has one person to thank for his musical prowess.
My mom kept telling me, "You're going to thank me one day." I thank her every day.
In Phoenix, Sydney Cariel, Cronkite News. Senior Wisconsin guard Bronson Koenig is a Native American of the Ho-Chunk Nation. He wrote an article in the Players Tribune about his visit to Standing Rock, North Dakota, participating in a basketball clinic with kids and joining the protest of the Dakota Access Pipeline. The article was passed along to fellow member of the Ho-Chunk Nation, Brewers relief pitcher Jabba Chamberlain.
It was awesome to see his stance and see the pride that he takes in our culture and what it stands for.
Koenig expressed concern about what the Dakota Access Pipeline will do to the people of the Ho-Chunk Nation and their land. Chamberlain shared that same concern.
I sent it to my father, and I still have family that lives on the reservation back in Nebraska, so it resonated in so many ways, not only with me as an athlete and the position and the platform that we have, but also as a member of the Ho-Chunk Nation and what it means to us as well. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is to be able to shake his hand and say thank you as an older kid, and just to understand that there's a lot to it that he did that I don't think he probably truly understands.
Chamberlain may not be able to visit his reservation as often as he may like, but he has several tattoos that represent his Native American culture and remind him every day how important it is.
I wear it with pride, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. I always have, and that's a huge part of me, and that's part of my sleeve and part of who I am.
2 of the eagle feathers represent his father and his son, and the drum has one of Chamberlain's favorite meanings behind it.
It basically is our circle of life and where we start from and how it all comes full circle from birth to death. And it's just something that means the world to me. I'm very proud of it.
Chamberlain will continue to live by the Ho-Chunk Nation motto, people of the big voice. In Phoenix, Sydney Cariel, Cronkite News.